Good evening and welcome to 16 by 9, The Bigger Picture. Is he an esteemed pillar of the community or a cold-blooded killer? That's what many people are trying to figure out about Colonel Russell Williams these days. His story has made international headlines, and it's left many people wondering if this Air Force colonel could have led a double life. Tonight, 16 by 9 solicits some help from some top criminologists to understand what might have been going on in the mind of Canada's newest alleged serial killer.
This is our first C-17.
He was a military top dog. Colonel Russell Williams seemingly had it all. A respected Air Force officer who mingled with dignitaries and even flew the Prime Minister. A graduate of one of Canada's most elite private schools, Upper Canada College.
Develop strong relations with the community are extremely important.
Colonel Williams wanted a strong relationship with his community, all right. In fact, since his arrest on February 7th for the alleged murders of Jessica Lloyd and Corporal Marie-France Comeau, as well as 2 counts of sexual assault, this small town of Tweed, Ontario, has never been the same.
He didn't look me in the eye. I said, something about this guy, but can't pin it down.
Larry Jones has lived in this cottage community called Cozy Cove for almost 35 years. He remembers when the 46-year-old colonel and his 52-year-old wife, Mary Elizabeth, moved into the house next door in 2004. In fact, he has photos of the house that police are now tearing apart, looking for evidence. It's the first time we get a glimpse inside this alleged killer's home.
We have a very, very close family, and the twins are 14 now, and they get off and on the bus here every day. And that's another thing. They're really good-looking girls, and they probably look like 20-year-olds. It could have been one of them. This animal. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little teary-eyed here.
No. He is shocked, like everyone else in this community, to learn about the allegations against the man next door. He says it was at one of his annual Christmas parties that Colonel Williams would meet a vivacious and friendly neighbor who lived a few doors down, a woman who police say Colonel Williams sexually assaulted last fall. In fact, Larry Jones gave us this photo taken at his Christmas party of the alleged victim. We cannot show you her face, but Larry says she has not recovered from that frightening incident.
She said, can you believe what's happened to me? I was just at home alone, and somebody broke into my house and put something over my head. She said, I don't know what it was, my nightgown or a blanket, and tied me all up and undressed me and took pictures of me in different positions. She said I was really squirming trying to get my blindfold off to see who it was. He says, stop doing that. You don't want to see me. You don't want to see me.
And that's not all. Larry says the man who sexually assaulted her did other bizarre things.
She had a headache. He went to the cabinet, got her an aspirin. He says, would you lay a cigarette and a lighter right there so I can have a cigarette and a smoke when I'm waiting for you to get out of here? So, and he did. Put a cigarette and a lighter there for her. That's what she told me.
Larry says, like everyone else, he was worried about what was happening in his little town. But he didn't expect to become the prime suspect. And he was shocked when police took him in for questioning.
This is not me. And so they asked me all these questions like, did your father beat you? Did your mother molest you? And going on like all these things. What kind of sex do you like? And there's only 2 kinds of sex recognized in the free world. Permissible sex positions. Men on top, men on bottom, woman on bottom, woman on top, men on bottom. That's it. That's all there is. Anything else, you're a deviant.
And he says police came in with a search warrant looking for specific things.
Yeah, I think it was Licenza bras and some kind of panties. I can't remember what they were now, Jessica or maybe Licenza too. I don't know. 2 baby blankets, 1 pair of thongs that had poodles on it, ladies' thongs.
Where did the baby blankets come from?
The first girl was raped, had a baby in the house. I bet you the baby was only more than 3-4 weeks old.
Larry says the police interviewed all the neighbors except for Colonel Williams, and he makes this shocking allegation.
I asked him, I said, are you checking everybody? He says, well, this guy here is not home, and he's up pretty high in the military, so he's above reproach or something, or beyond reproach or something, so they never even questioned him.
The OPP says it cannot confirm whether or not Colonel Williams was questioned and will not speculate on the details of the investigation.
If Colonel Williams turns out to be a true serial killer, he will be the perfect storm of killers.
Criminologist Eric Hickey says Colonel Williams' case could be one for the record books.
Colonel Williams, if he's guilty, certainly doesn't fit your typical profile of a serial killer.
Based on his research and police information, Eric Hickey paints a possible profile of the alleged killer.
I suspect he's had a long history of getting involved with pornography, maybe S&M bondage stuff, and he's got into that. I suspect he's developed several different paraphilic interests. His interest in tying up women, photographing them, sexually being aroused by their fear.
Vernon Geberth is a homicide and forensic consultant and says the timing of the crimes may tell us something significant about who did this.
Within 2 weeks, we have women that are assaulted, tied up, photographed, and then a couple of months later, there's a homicide, and then all of a sudden in January, there's another homicide. I get the impression that something was going on in his life that caused him to decompress.
Police have torn apart Colonel Williams' cottage searching for evidence. According to experts, sexual deviants usually take items from their victims.
They're basically trophies. They're trophies of a successful hunt. They're able to take this trophy and touch it and feel it, and basically it's called an engram in psychology, in which they can recreate the event by having this inanimate object that they have now attached an emotional construct to.
Vernon Geberth has written 45 books about serial killers and sexual deviants. He says he'll be following the developments of this case very closely. In the meantime, Colonel Williams has made his first court appearance. Vernon says if the colonel is found guilty, he will most certainly become a chapter in his next book.
This will go into the annals of criminology, which again is going to be another wake-up call for law enforcement that anybody's capable of anything.